Assalamualaikum, my name is Mehwish Khan and I am CEO and founder of HR Upscale. In today's session, we will be talking about how to apply for a job. Finding a job can be very tough, so you need to be very clear about the job titles you will be applying for and the companies you want to work for and the location that best suits you. So I would suggest that if you can list down a minimum of 10 companies you want to work for, and then make a spreadsheet, put the names of those organizations, and then start tracking those organizations for their job openings. If there is any job opportunity that is available in those organizations, you just need to put the name of the organization in your Excel sheet and track that position with the deadlines and the timelines for their application. Another very important point is that you need to read the job advert very carefully and extract the information you will be requiring. For example, company name, contact details, and the application deadline. Keep that information in your Excel sheet and it will be handy later. Now, important thing is where you need to apply. So whatever the job advert is all about, they will be mentioning the process of application, and it does include your CV, covering letter, and also the number of stages it will go through if your application is processed at first. So make sure such information is extracted and kept in your Excel for future process. So when you're working on your application, there are multiple things you need to take care of. You will be preparing your CV, your covering letter, and any other documentation they might be required in the application process. So first of all, when you're working on your CV or a covering letter, be careful about the spellings, grammar, and the type of form and format you have used. And before you actually even think of applying, you should get a help from anyone in your family or friends who can review your application or the documents you have prepared. So just few tips before we actually get into what kind of CV and format you should be using. Okay, so when we talk about CV should not be very long. A4 size paper, if you are using, 2 pages are more than enough. Otherwise, nobody will read your CV. So it should be very clear, precise, and then use a simple template. Use simple English. No need to use big jargons. Okay, and then in your CV, make sure that your font size should not be less than 10. Otherwise, it gets difficult to read. Simple Arial or Times New Roman font will be good enough for a CV. You can get a CV template from online websites and just change the information that needs to be added according to your profile and use it. Do not use your photo on your CV. It is not required because it doesn't look professional. And also be careful that references should not be added until and unless asked for. So you can mention that references are available on request. That is enough. You don't have to give in advance at this stage. And if, for example, you are giving like a hard copy somewhere, then use a quality paper rather than a normal kind of paper. So your CV should be presentable. It should be nice to look at and easy to read. That is the way you can actually get attention of the employer. Now, what should be included in your CV? First of all, your contact details. So you need to mention your full name, your address, your email address, not your postal address, and your telephone number. So mention that at the top of your CV, and then you do a profile kind of paragraph where you can mention about your personal profile That is very important. You need to mention your key strengths. So you can also discuss with your family members about your strength and try to make it a very attractive kind of paragraph with your strengths, why you are different from others. Another important section should be your key skills and achievements, and you can add any kind of awards you have received or certificates you have received in your college, university time, but it should be relevant to the position you are applying for. Do not mention everything you have achieved, which doesn't make sense to the employer. Secondly, work and voluntary experience. So whatever experience you have gained so far in terms of voluntary work, summer internships, any other work you have done, you need to mention, but start from the most recent one on the top and then go back and mention what you have learned on those positions. Do mention the title and what you have learned during that tenure. And then your education and training, again the most recent one should come on top, and then do mention your grades and your distinctions if you have achieved. Interest and hobbies, anything you are interested in which is part of your hobby and somewhat related to your application or your personality, you can mention in your CV. And don't forget that if you don't have any experience, you cannot apply for a position. If it is an entry-level position, you can apply even without an experience, but you need to mention what you have done in your university. Maybe you have worked for any society or a club, you need to mention that. That will also be included as your work, because you are fresh. So it doesn't matter if you don't have any formal kind of experience. Do mention whatever you have done in your school or college or university at what point in time you are applying. So consider that in your CV. Okay, now coming on to covering letter. So covering letter is very important because that's where you start to get the attention of the employer. And if you have written it well, then definitely the employer will go to the second page and read your CV in detail. So your covering letter should not be more than 1 page. You should do a proper research before writing your covering letter in terms of the name of the person you are applying to. For example, if you know that this person has posted this job, use that name. If you don't know, still you can say dear sir or madam. And then in the covering letter, you need to show why you want to apply for that position, what you can give to the organization that will add value and will help them achieve their organizational goals. You should mention your skills, your interest, your experience if you have, your qualification, whatever is relevant to the job post, you mention that, and then get the attention of the employer through telling them why you fit for that organization, why you are a best fit for that position. So use again 1 page is enough. Don't use too much of complicated sentences or copy paste paragraphs. Make it simple. Try to keep a copy of your covering letter saved in your laptop so that whenever you are applying for a different position, you can change it, but your overall template remains the same, but you can change it and tailor it to the requirement of that position. And again, covering letter should be attractive and well written. Now moving on to application forms. So it depends on the organization what kind of process they follow. Some want you to register on their website and fill a form, attach documents and submit. There might be organizations who want a paper format and they want you to submit their forms printed and submitted or posted to their address. So depending on the organization, whatever the requirement is, follow that process. And during your application process, make sure that you fill each and every section properly, and you should meet the criteria, because most of the organization filter through their required criteria, and if your education or your degree does not match to the requirement, they will not look at that CV. Especially in the online systems, they just filter through maybe experience or maybe education, degree. So you should see that if you fit to the requirement or criteria of the position, then you should apply and fill each and every section properly, so that you should be filtered and your CV is successfully reviewed or viewed by the recruiter. So now let's see what are the key areas that you need to be very sure before submitting your application, because if your application is incomplete, there are mistakes, spelling mistakes, or maybe you have put a wrong address and you do not fit to the criteria of the position, then your application will not be processed. Even at the first stage, they might just not review your full CV later. So you should be very careful while before submitting your application, that you review it properly, thoroughly, and apply to those positions with whom your experience and your education rightly fits. So review and apply, and make sure you don't miss anything in your application. Now once your application is submitted, what happens? In most organizations, what they do is they do the background screening, and social media is one of the area in most cases they go and check your profiles, your LinkedIn profile, your Twitter, or maybe whatever you have publicly published. They will review that and they will judge you from your posts, your likes, and make sure whatever picture is displayed is professional, and posts you have posted are relevant, and whatever things you like make sense. So they can judge your interest and they think that you are the right fit for the position. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to share your feedback. Do like and share this video so that people can take benefit out of it. Have a great day. Thank you.